Alright guys, welcome back to episode number 4 of the Lancer build. Today we're going to be replacing all these blue cups with some black cups from Raceworks. We're also going to be plumbing the turbo hopefully. There's a lot we need to do to this thing today, so we're just going to get right into it. I'm excited. I'm excited. Now, of course, guys, we have boxes and boxes of parts. We also have stickers, baby. Shout out to Raceworks. They have been a huge supporter of the channel. Oi, Lachlan, we got some merch. Get over here. Got some merch.
And buy your merch, baby.
Raceworks, baby.
Oh, do I get my own Raceworks hat?
Yeah.
Do I get to match you? Doesn't really suit with the, maybe need to go like this. Raceworks, baby.
I'm gonna unbox all these goodies and show you what we have in there. We did a massive order, so if you guys need fittings or anything, Raceworks guys, alright. So we've got Teflon fittings, Teflon hose fittings, we've got big boy fittings. Wow! Some lines, baby! Braided stainless, look at that. Guys, we got so much stuff. We've even got, all the black couplings that we're going to be using for the intercooler. Have a sus. The Max Penny Rods couplings would have been just fine, but obviously we want to be running some stealthy looking couplings, so that's why we're going with the Raceworks ones, and also these are of a little bit better quality. You can see the burst pressure here is 348 psi, so these couplings don't expand under massive boost, but we won't be running crazy boost anyway, as we'll be only running like maximum 10 psi, as the rods in this engine are probably going to blow and bend, and we'll be getting a knock on the door from Rodney, but so what we're going to probably do first is replace all the couplings, run black couplings, and go from there, because I think it's going to make the entire car look a lot better. So in the last video, I finished installing the cooler pipes. However, today I wasn't entirely happy with how they were routed. So I decided to do some chopping and some welding, and also complete the hot side.
I was looking at the tape measure to pick it up, right? I noticed all these little speckles down there.
Remember in the last video how there was like a massive redback spider? The redbacks had babies. Like, get your phone torch out. Bro, there's so many there. Dude! Oh my god!
Redbacks though, or they're huntsmans?
That's definitely redbacks, bro. It's been probably about 2.5 hours, 3 hours since I last picked up the camera. That's because we've been grinding away at this thing. We also fit some food in there as well, so had a nice bite to eat. But enough of me talking, guys. Have a sus of this. All right, we got all the cooler pipes done. Everything's ready to go. You can see down here was a bit of a muck around trying to get this all sorted. I originally wanted to do a 90 to 90 up, but I managed to somehow clock the turbo down on an angle and get a 90, just one singular 90 going down to a straight, then to the 180, and then to the cooler. And then for the dose pipe, we have the 3" to 2.5 pipe going just straight out of the turbo. I had to chop just a little bit of the fan out, as you just saw. That's all right. There's like 3 other little brackets holding the fan on, so should be totally fine. But it's looking so good right now. Whoops. We still have to run the oil line, the drain, the coolant lines. It's a bit of a nightmare, but it's going to be so worth it. It looks so good. Oh man. What do you think, Magnic?
Why would you water cool your turbo?
Reliability.
It's not worth it. You guys want to see a magic trick?
Oh, Magnic! How you feeling, bro?
This is going in your intake once it's running.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We'll use that as fuel for the 4G15.
Convert it to methanol. Sunday, I'm going to be bald. It's not going to be a pretty sight.
That's why he's got the Raceworks hat, guys.
I'm covering my hair. I'm balding already.
So apparently the shorter the pipe, the better the dose, according to the mechanic. So we have shortened the dose pipe down ever so slightly, just a little bit further, a little bit closer towards the turbo, sorry. As you can see, we just chopped it up a little bit, and then we should be able to fit a little pod filter there, which I've got on the way. So there should be enough clearance there. It'll probably be pushing against these radiator pipes, but we should be okay. All right, guys, it's the next day now. Alex is on the welder just practicing some welds because he wants to become a fabricator. I'm gonna start working on the Lancer now. Unfortunately, the front housing isn't moving that easily. All right, we've taken a bunch of the turbo apart. We're just going to use a mallet to try and move this compressor housing. Hopefully it moves. Oh, that sounds like it's gonna freaking crack. Why wouldn't it rotate? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Man, oh, there is like red Loctite in there. Got the compressor housing off, and there's the compressor wheel. Have a sus. Ugh. Had to just hammer it down a little bit, and then it just fell apart, which is mad. All right, guys, we've almost got the turbo clocked correctly. I'm having a little bit of difficulty because of all that red Loctite that's in there. It's preventing me from swiveling the turbo even though the bolts are loose right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark where is straight against the oil feed. So you can see right there how the oil feed's sort of like, if I put the pen like that, you can see it's like pointing on an angle towards the front of the car. I want it to be directly up. So I'm just gonna do a little mark on the rear housing, and then that's where the oil feed is gonna go. We want it to be pointing directly up. So I'm gonna have to take this all apart and go from there. But yeah, close to doing that, guys. Bit boring, but it is what it is. Gotta do that. All right, guys, we've got the turbo now clocked, and we're gonna start putting some fittings on. So I got this fitting from eBay, Mamba fitting. It's a -10 fitting that will go on the bottom of this turbo for the oil drain. Fittings can be extremely intimidating if you've never done fittings for a turbo before. I suggest doing a lot of research and try to find really good fittings, because if you cheap out on fittings, you will have problems. So I've used this before. I actually used these fittings on the Barra turbo. Look at that, there you go. So fits perfectly, and it comes with included hardware. Whoop, and a paper gasket, so that should just go on like that, and bam, -10, baby. So we're now gonna put a fitting onto this fitting here. So fittingception, guys. But basically, yeah, this is a Mamba fitting down here. We're using Raceworks for every other line that we have. I've got myself a -10 45-degree AN line right here, and that should just screw on straight to this. So you can see how satisfying this stuff is. This will go into a braided stainless hose right here. So I've opted for a rubber hose because we don't really need PTFE for an oil drain. So that will just be at the bottom there, and that will go to the oil drain. -10 fittings. Should be sweet. Look how satisfying that is, baby. Oh,
Better than sex.
yeah. Oh, on my hands. All right, guys, we're about to get the sump off. I'm having so much fun. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I forgot one bolt and I almost absolutely wrecked the sump. It's not letting me take it out the baffle. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's mint. There's actually no problems down here.
No metal?
No. Alright, watch it. I'm coming out. I realized I didn't explain this part well, but we needed to take the oil sump off in order to weld a fitting onto it for the oil drain. You can see right here I'm cleaning it up because you need this thing absolutely spotless in order for the RTV liquid to stick. And once you got it clean, you can do some welding, baby. Alright, guys, there's no going back now. Just drilled the first hole for this baddie over here, AN-10. That's gonna go right there, so. Oh, that's so hot. Guys, have a suss of that. That's probably one of my best welds on a bung that I've ever done. Have a look at that. That's it's got some decent color for the gas that we were using and the cups that we have. I just wanted to show you this before I chuck some paint on there. Look at that, not bad. All right, guys, we have done basically everything for the oil drain. We're just finishing off the line now. We've got the sump installed. Have a suss of that, guys. You can see we have the -10 fitting all welded up nicely, and the oil pan resealed. And I've just started on this AN-10 drain line right here. As you can see, we've got a 45-degree fitting, and we're going to run it down to a 90-degree fitting on that bung down there. So I'll just show you. I've got the fitting right here. This is the 90-degree fitting. Look at that. It goes on mint. So we're gonna do some cutting, some measuring, and then run our oil drain, and then we should be good to go. Alright, we've just created this line, guys. This is our drain line. It's a bit peculiar in terms of angles, but we needed to be able to bend out of the way of where the dump pipe's gonna be. I'm gonna install this, I'm gonna show you, but have a suss. Look at that. Looks like I just went to a shop and bought this. That's how good Raceworks fittings are, guys. And there you go, guys. There's the oil drain all installed now. 45 degree to a braided stainless rubber line all the way down to the oil pan right here. Dash 10 fittings. Yeah, looks pretty damn hot. I'm pretty happy with that. All we need to do now is run the oil feed. You see that, guys? You see that little plastic clip just there? That is your oil pressure sender. We're gonna disconnect that little line and take that fitting out of the block and see how we go from there. So now we need an oil feed for the turbo in order for the turbo to have some lubrication. And the only way to get oil is from the block, of course. Now there's no open holes on the block for obvious reasons. So what we do is we put a T-piece in that oil pressure sender switch so that we can have one running to the oil pressure sender and also a feed line to the turbo. There is really not a lot of room here. It's just behind the alternator. It's really difficult to get your hand into, and you need a 26mm extended socket, long socket. This was not fun at all, guys. Alright guys, next day now. We're going to pretty much put all the stuff back together, so gaskets on and all that. On the turbo, we're going to get the gasket from the manifold to the block on. We also ran the oil feed line, so I'm going to quickly show you that with this torch down here. You can see we've teed off the oil feed from the, what's it called, oil pressure switch. So that's all sorted and ready to go. So we've disconnected the distributor, which apparently has a crank angle sensor, according to the Oli mechanic.
Or cam sensor.
Cam sensor. So yeah, we're gonna, let this thing get some oil into it and then start it up. Alrighty guys, we are ready to start the car. I just need to put some oil in and then we're ready to fire. We're just gonna crank it a few times to make sure that there's oil coming through the fitting that we used, the T fitting at the back of the block, and then we will connect that on and fire it up, and hopefully everything's all good. We're not running any intercooler pipes, so there'll be no boost, so it should run, because apparently these EZUs are really sensitive on boost. Apparently you can't even run 1 PSI. It'll lean itself out. So yeah, we're just gonna start it without the cooler pipes and see what happens. Alright guys, she's all filled with oil. Ollie's going to get there and crank the engine. I'm just going to connect up the battery. Alright, go for it. The battery's going to kill itself. Alright, what's up? We got oil, baby.
That was quick.
Yeah, that was much quicker than the barrel. Alright, guys, have a look here. We do have oil pressure, baby. I'm going to just double check how much oil is in here now that we've got some oil in the line, and we'll go from there. The thing should start. We're going to plug up the spark plugs with these leads, and hopefully all good. I don't know what it's going to sound like, but the dump is open, so I'm going to wait for all the neighbors to go away.
Vin Diesel has stolen your Lancer, Rexton.
Family. What's his line there?
I ain't got friends, I got family.
Oh. It's not one in front.
This might have something to do with it.
What? Oh! Oh! Dude, I nearly blew up the 4G15. Oh, no air. Alright. think that's just... Wow, alright. I think everything's functioning well. It doesn't really sound that loud. It's actually pretty tame with the downpipe off, so we might be able to run a pretty hectic exhaust and not deal with too many consequences. So, that oil?
That is oil.
No, I think that's just coming out of the gate, just water and a bit of oil mixed together.
Scared the shit out of me. I was like recording on my my phone for the Snapchat group, and Ollie revved it, and you can see I go, oh.
I cooked it. I full cooked that. I completely forgot that I left that in there. I put that in there to hold the intake at the right angle because the coupling that we currently have on there is a little bit too big in diameter. Dude, that could have been bad. Thank God it didn't start. If it started then, we would have had big problems. That was so dumb.
Would have joined Mike Lake with a cracked block.
We're just gonna start this up again and give it a few more revs. Hopefully not annoy anyone, but I want you guys to be able to hear this. Sounds really good. That sounds funny as. Holy moly, I love it. Lovely sounds from Alex behind us because he is learning to weld. I'm having so much fun with the Lancer content. It's honestly super enjoyable smashing out this build, and I'm sure you guys are too. So, I will see you all in the next one. Alex, you got 5 seconds. All right, go.
Thank you for tuning in to another XH video. The Lancer content is getting pumped out. A couple more videos, the thing will be on the road chopping your shitty V8s.
You forgot.
Like and subscribe, baby. Better than sex.